Howdy, howdy. Hey, another video today, another drawing video today. So instead of circles, I'm sure you're getting tired of those, we're going to work with squares and what we can do in making them look three-dimensional, cubes, and value and modeling. So here we go. So let's get started sketching up our first little square to start working with. Here's our square. And again, it's a quick sketch. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. So again, with the square, if you lay this, tip it back and lay it flat, this is essentially a line again, right? So, this could be the top plane of a box. All right. So now again, if you look at a box, if that box is looking straight on and it's an equal depth to the top shape, it's going to be identical, right? All right, so let me put the line back up in there. That's the side view. If we rotate that line 45 degrees, we'll have a diamond shape. Let's get that diamond shape in here. All right, so we'll draw the diamond shape. Essentially, we're throwing that top plane. We've come around, so we're looking down on top of it, so we're below the horizon line. So if you're a little confused about that, watch my perspective tutorials. All right, so we have this line rotated and we've tipped it up a little bit. And now we're going to add the depth. All right, and we're trying to get a cube. All right, so I'm going to keep this line at the same angle as that line. I'm going to keep this line and this line pretty close to the same angle. All right, so now we have a three-dimensional shape. And again, if you wanted to, you could throw another one in here. Maybe it's behind. We'll throw it behind. We'll draw another triangle back here, and we'll throw this, and it'll be right on the same plane as that front one. All right, so there we go. And then we can start working with our tone. Remember, we have lines, which these three are linear, and we'll just come in and put a tone on each plane. All right, light source is going to come in, so the lightest plane is going to be the top plane, and I will tone down this plane here. And if I was smart, I would have erased that first. There we go. All right, and the light is striking both of these planes in the same manner, and we'll tone down that little sucker right back there, and then we'll throw in the shade, the shadow. All right. Now you can do this also as a mass drawing as well. So let's try, we'll just try to get the shape. And this is a good exercise. Try to get your planes built with just tone. All right, and negative space. So I'm going to throw value out into the distance there, up into the negative space, and we're defining that positive plane with the value right there. So it's all the difference. The edges are being created by the value range change. All right, there we go. And I want a different edge right there. And then we'll throw that shadow in. And this one's important because you'll see this a lot in watercolor, and things you need to be able to recognize is that you're going for shapes. So if one plane is the same value as the other plane, it becomes a compound shape and the edge disappears. So there is no edge right down here at the bottom. It just becomes a lost edge, and you now have a shape built out of values of varying intensity, right? There we go. And if you want a little more definition, put a little more darkness right next to it. All right, so there are two different ways of building a cube, starting from a square, both with linear mark making and mass mark making, and simply increasing pressure to create a darker edge. Now there is another way of doing it, It's more of a linear, and it's kind of a scribble, and it can be done with circles. I didn't show this on circles, but let's just say you just start with some scribbles, okay? And however tight or loose you get, and you're essentially creating, again, line is value. All of these lines and things with the scribbles, they're ultimately going to start convincing the viewer's eye that, and I'm going to change my pressure so the lines here are a little lighter. All right, and you can also do the same thing with the background here. Whoops, I almost went linear there. All right, so just be irregular and just learn to see those angles. Okay, again, watch that perspective video and you'll get the idea. All right, scribbles. This is a fun, actually this technique, you'll see some really nice drawings and stuff done with this. Let's get that shadow in there. All right. Okay, we're going to lose that edge again. The shadow and that back side of that cube are the same value. And we're just going to lose this edge right there. And I'm trying to get the edges to pop right in through here. And again, just working irregular scribbles to create a form. So I really can't stress how important learning to be able to create a form in whatever way you can. It's very important. So I'm going to make it a little darker. I want a little more definition. I want a little more definition right along this edge, so I just get a little more darkness, right? So your eye is doing a lot of work to create the illusion of 3 dimensions. All right, so there is the fun you can have with drawing cubes. Oh, one other thing, I've still got a couple of minutes. Here, let's do a real quick. Again, we'll get that diamond built. All right, well, let's make that quick cube. This is an exercise I do with my students. Actually, they get a photograph to work with. But you have this cube, again, vanishing point over here, vanishing point over here. All right, so let's pop another cube. See, this one was in the same relative position to the other cube, but what if there was a different angle on, let's throw this one in here. All right, so we got, this one has a different vanishing point and different vanishing points. So we'll just throw this in here. We just changed perspective and rotated this other cube. We'll throw this one where it dangles over a little bit. There we go. All right, so practice this. This is a good mental exercise to better understand how perspective, 2-point perspective, 3-point perspective works to create a complex shape. You'll see this in nature all the time, and you're in an environment. You want to always, here, we'll change direction on this plane. All right, and then we got a shadow on this, right? We're going to have a shadow over here. We're going to make a flat mark there. There we go. So that is one more thing to practice your fun skill sets working with squares. Let me know what you think of this. Practice it. Do these, doodle these any which way you can until you can do these in your sleep. Understand it so that when you are trying to draw something specifically, not just cubes, but things that have a base of a cube shape, you'll be able to do it. All right, so give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next little drawing tutorial, which is triangles.